Hi, this is Colleen with Chats with Colleen, and we're so glad that you're here joining us for our biweekly podcast edition. This week's episode is with Victoria Dumé. She is also known as the Gratitude Coach and the creator of the Create Hers conference and several other conferences, retreats, days out, etc. Her specialty and her passion is to gather women together of all genres, careers, backgrounds, and help inspire them to be the best that they can be. So it's a really great interview. It's a two-part series with her. We're going to dabble into how she got into this industry, what led her to it, and also we talk a little bit about AI and our likes and our dislikes of it, unfortunately, with that new trend that's around. But it's a great interview. She has an event coming up. It is on August 14th through the 16th in the Lake Nona area of Orlando, Florida. If you're in the area and you're a woman, entrepreneur, in the career space, anything, it's a great event for you to go to help learn how you can dig deep within yourself and propel forward. Also, if you're out of state, it's a great time to come to sunny Florida. It's hot and ready for you. So please check out the event. We're going to link her information down below. And thank you so much for joining the show. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out. Thank you. And again, this podcast is for informational purposes only. Thank you. Hi, this is Colleen with Chats with Colleen, and we're so glad that you're here joining us for our biweekly podcast edition. This week, I am so honored to have Miss Victoria Dumé with me, and I'm so appreciative of you because your story and your mission, it's like really inspiring to me, partly because I don't really understand it. So I want you to explain what it is that you do and possibly how you got to this point.
Yeah, so I mean, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be able to have a conversation like this and to share my story and what I do and what I'm passionate about. So thank you so much for inviting me to be on this podcast and have this conversation. So I'm Victoria Dumé, and in a nutshell, to be the most direct way of explaining what I do is I'm a community builder. I have passion for building community and connections that go beyond just surface level networking. And we are called the Her Immersion brand, fueled by gratitude. So it's a movement fueled by gratitude. And we love being able to create spaces and, of course, safe spaces where we go deeper than just the connection in itself. We go what we call like immerse and integrate in like an integrative level so that we can talk about the things that most people are not talking about. We can go deeper within our inner selves and really express what we're feeling emotionally, what our desires are, what we're seeking, and make connection through community so that we can thrive in life. Because I believe that community is how we thrive. And, research shows that in the blue zone countries, so the blue zones are countries and cultures and zones that live into the hundreds. They're the longest living, cultures, and that's what the blue zones are. And when they study the blue zones, one of the common factors of longevity is cultures that are centered around community. So it's people that are connected to something bigger and something that is allowing them to serve in a way or be part of something more than just, just themselves. And I think we all know that isolation is, what causes depression and what causes a lot of our mental health issues when we're in isolation and when we feel disconnected and when we feel that we're alone. We get depressed, we feel alone, and we're not able to connect and like really be able to express and feel that we can create possibilities or ideas and all of that. So I am passionate in building community, building spaces where women can feel seen, heard, connected, and again, deeper than just the surface level, right? Networking, but integrative and unique ways, creative ways, and really immersive experiences as well. So that's kind of like what I do and how we do it.
Wow, that's a lot, but it's almost really overwhelming. I almost got teary-eyed with some of
Yeah.
what you said because it's true. As a woman, I always feel this way. As a woman in the professional sector, I think it's so difficult. Like you said, to be heard, possibly to be taken seriously because they're all, a lot of people are like, oh, you're just overacting, you're just being emotional. And I can't tell you how many times like I've heard that when I'm like asking for help. Like, look, I don't like this. Can you help me with something? Or just calling around to find services or whatever. People are just sometimes just not willing to help. Or are they
Right.
just
Yeah.
willing to
No.
be judgmental?
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
really honestly think that, for me, I know this is true for me and then has become true for many of our community members. And we have a lot of regular members, I guess you could say, a lot of women that have come to every single immersive experience, whether it's a brunch or a retreat or a yoga flow event or, an integrative retreat with horses. Like we have so many different offerings, so many different events, and we have community that has been literally with us since day one. Almost 5 years ago, they have come to the first event and came to multiple events. And one of the main common testimonies that you'll hear is that they met people at these events that allowed them to open up doors of possibilities and opportunities in other areas of their life. So if it wasn't for meeting this person or getting connected to a new tool or a book or a recommendation from coming and learning about an event, like if it wasn't for those things, they wouldn't be where they are, right? Whether it's in their business. We have women that are part of they're on boards for nonprofits or for organizations because they made a connection. They're women who was able to launch a business idea with the support of someone they met at an event. And that right there, like that makes my heart love burst because it's like that is what connection is about. It's and community is about is to have the resources, the tools, and the connections. And those connections, when you look back, lead to other things. Like I can think about, you or, some of my partnerships like with Advent. And if I go back and think, okay, I met this person here who then connected me here, who then I got invited to speak here. And because of that, I met this person and I have this now. And none of that would have happened if I wasn't in the rooms, if I wasn't out in community and connecting. So there's so many like miracles and possibilities. I say miracles, like we're all miracles for somebody because someone's going
Mhm.
to drop your name or say, I know someone you should meet. And that is what we're really big on in our community. And like you were saying, the more that you gather, right, in these spaces, the more expansion is happening and those more ears are being opened and more conversations are becoming louder, like the conversations that we want to have. And when I mean louder, I mean that it's waking people up to seeing what is needed, right? What we need that most people were not willing to talk about
Mhm.
or seek out. So community is just so powerful. Like we're more powerful when those voices are being heard and validated.
Yes. So what led you to this and
So
to this
interesting.
space?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so interesting thing. I've had many um career like experiences, I guess you could say, from from graduating college. I graduated UCF marketing. I always had a passion for events and marketing. I love that. But for a long time, I worked in the nonprofit world doing, cultural exchange programs, and I really loved culture. I loved meeting people that were different than me. I traveled all around the world, and I grew a love and for people, for just being around people and in different cultures. And I'm a foodie, so I also love to just learn about different foods. And so traveling really cultured me. And then I was always like, in marketing and sales and because of that, I was very type A. Well, I'm a type A personality, so having that background of sales and personal development was a big way to get better, right? We type A personalities just like, how can I get better? How can I do this better? How can I, hit these goals? And I took kind of like a combination of all that and just wanted to really work for myself. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to have something to do with like community and supporting community and helping people. So I started as a life coach. So fast forward, I work with a nonprofit. I mean, traveled, fell deeper in love with people and community in that role. And then my type A, you know, leadership personality one knew that I wanted to have my own business, have my own thing. I wanted to be my own boss, right? Like a lot of people, some people want that, some people don't. And
Yes.
I got a life coaching certification after healing from divorce, actually. So I was doing that personal development journey myself, healing from a divorce, and I was finding myself helping people, coaching people. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can coach people. I can help people. So I got a certification to be a life coach. And then, as we all know, COVID happened. And I saw the disconnection, like we were talking about, the isolation that was happening, the the loneliness pandemic, right? So we had COVID-19 pandemic, but really what was happening is the loneliness pandemic, the mental health pandemic was on the rise. And I was
Hmm.
life coaching for 3 years, going on to 3 years, and I noticed that we needed live human connection again. We needed to get out into spaces again. We needed to events. So after coaching, most all of my clients were on virtual Zoom calls. I saw a need for building community, and that's when I started doing events. So I took my life coaching modalities and brought them as immersive experience at a retreat. So I launched with a weekend retreat, a women's retreat, and then from there started building regular quarterly events, and then partnerships grew, and we started doing day retreats. And now we are almost 5 years later, and it's just grown and evolved. We have collaborative events with different groups, and we still have our Her Immersion, events like that we do. And that's how it started. It started with me taking my personal development skills as an entrepreneur, coaching, then to seeing, bringing in my passion for humans and for culture and people in all those years that I was working with in cultural exchange. And I think I had the right skill sets, the right heart for people, and I'm a go-getter. And yeah, and I love also being an expander for others. So I also love that community can really help others again build their visions. So that's how I got into it. That's like in a 10-year, summary of how it evolved into who we are today.
Into what you are today. Wow. And then over the years, has what you viewed as being successful, do you think that's changed for you since you
Yeah,
go into this? Mhm.
yes, for sure. I was life coaching and doing coaching programs for a while. I still do some coaching, but that has drastically shifted where I'm hardly doing any one-on-one coaching. And now my passion is to grow this immersive community and the events and collaborative and partnerships with events. So what I thought that I was going to be doing as a coach, right, as a life coach and speaker has totally shifted because now I see the passion and the ability to create something a lot bigger and more impactful by pouring my energy into community, into these immersive experiences. And I think I shared this with you, Colleen, is that one of the things that is blowing up right now, and I think it's because of the AI, you know, revolution or whatever you want to call AI, is that right now human connection is very much sought for. So people are now attending more live events than ever before. They are looking for real human connection. Why? Because online, no one knows what's real anymore. We don't know what's real. What we thought was real, we find out was an AI video.
It's true.
And people are using AI for all their marketing and branding. So when you see a video of someone now, it's not even them. They've
I
created an
know.
avatar of themselves. A lot of companies and brands are shifting to automating customer service with all AI. And we've seen that with chatbots, but now it's actual voice messages, right? Like, I hope, Colleen, that you don't do this, because one of the things that I love about you is how much you are connected to community. But there was a recent company that I was very well connected to, and I get a voice message they're in lending and things like that. And I get a voice message, which I think is my friend.
And it's not.
And it's not. And it's
No.
literally a voice message left, which I think is her. And it's just an AI. And I think like that annoyed me a little bit because I'm like, wait a second, like I want to hear from my actual
Yeah.
contact, right? Like if we were to start, which I'm going to need very soon here for our conference that we're going up, and we're doing event, I'm going to need insurance for the event. And and then I never really connect with you anymore. And all I'm getting is just an AI version of you. I'm going to be more likely to go and speak with someone that is going to like literally pick up the phone and talk with me, right? And I think that there are ways that yes, AI can automate things for us on the back end, but I don't think it should ever replace us. And so before I get off tangent with the AI conversation, that is why people now are realizing they want to get off their phones and get off the computer and go into live events and have real human experiences. And there are a lot of influencers, a lot of thought leaders that are talking about this right now. You are going to see a massive explosion in live immersive events more than ever before. And I'm really grateful that I saw this 5 years ago before, because I've built community now. It is needed. I think there should be more creative experiences that are live. And that is like who's going to win in the long run. And I think you agree with this. The
Mhm.
brands and companies that are going to win are the ones who are staying human because you're not going to ride the trend that is eventually going to end eventually. And humans are going to say, I want real brands. I want real things. I don't want the avatar anymore, right? Because we don't trust it anymore. So if AI isn't being trusted, why would you as a brand use something that people already don't trust, right? And so I see that my ability to do what I do in my unique way, in my immersive experiences, is where the success is going to lie in the long run because I'm getting out of the computer, right? I'm no longer wanting to build a brand online anymore. Yes, our community can be there, but one of the most connected ways companies and brands are finding to get their brands known is through live events. So now you're going to see the shift where we're doing partnerships with online influencers. They still are, but what is happening massively are brand deals happening for live community events. And I'm evidence of that because in this year, the partnerships that I've had is 10x versus 5 years ago, right? And like our retreat last year, we had so many companies send us full product samples to put in our retreat bags because they knew community at live events are more engaged with products than me just doing a video online, right? So that is where, to answer your question, I know that was long. That is why I see success for me of where it started as an online coach and virtual coach and online brand, which is where I grew my social media. I see now my focus and energy for true success is to be human and create real human experiences. That is where I see the momentum growing.
Yeah, and I totally agree because like online, like you said, it's all like virtual. So if you have an avatar, you can't really get like the effects of that person's like full like persona, their full like personality, and then why somebody may be drawn to work with them or want to be around them, like a robot, anybody could be like that, even if it looks exactly like her or him, anybody could be like, oh, they're great, but they don't see like there's no like real emotion. And I feel like
Yeah.
connection is it's so bizarre to me. But no, I don't ever want to get to that place where I have like, I mean, maybe you have an answering machine or answering service answer your phone, but I don't ever want to get to the place where it's somebody calling and it's like a computer that sounds like me. Because
Yeah.
that's not me. That's like scary.
Yeah. And
She could
last
never be like my real personality. Like I laugh at things and I have like,
yeah.
random stuff that people like know me as, like clients, new clients, and the computer can never do that. So
I
that's the
think
thing.
I really think the brands that are not in it for the quick buck are gonna, in the long run, are going to benefit because people are gonna start going back to like, oh my God, you know how we all joke and we're like, can I get a real person? I want can I get
Yes.
an operator? Right? Like when we call for customer service and we get like, oh my
Yes.
God, can I just speak
Person,
to
live
someone?
person, your representative, you're screaming at the thing.
That
Yes.
is what is going to happen with this whole AI thing. Like people are going to be like, "Oh my God, can I just get a real person? Can I just speak to someone?" So I think for all of us that are willing to stay real, not use this whole AI crap, like I also am supportive of let's keep our photographers and videographers like in business because they're
Yes.
they're creatives. And I think like a lot of these I know it's for solopreneurs. They're looking at it as saving costs. Like, oh, I don't need to go and get a photo shoot done and a branding photo shoot done when I can just have AI. But the thing is, it's not real. And they're all starting to look the same.
But you can
And
tell. You can tell when someone puts a picture. I'm like, that is totally not you. Like, no
yeah,
offense. Like, your hair
exactly.
color is totally different. Your skin
Your
texture is
face-
totally different. Like,
yeah.
you have wrinkles. It makes you look like totally fake.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
also think that like if you notice, like the graphics are all looking the same. There's no
Yes.
uniqueness. Like I pay someone to do my graphics and my branding templates because I want it to be my voice. I want it to be my soul's, expression. But if my graphic starts to look like, every, Karen and Susan's graphics, like what sets us apart? What, like nothing,
Nothing.
And so I think like hire your creatives, hire your photographers, keep them in business. I could have easily used an AI app to do our conference ad video, and sent it photos and videos of a loft and all this stuff. And I could have done that. But why? Why not have me and videographer that, keeps them? I don't know. I just think for the long run, let's help some creatives stay in business. And I think that AI is great for certain things, but I don't think it should take away our creativity. I
I think it
don't.
should be an addition, like learn how to use it to help, like you said, the things on the back end, but the connections and stuff and the human still needs to be there.
Yeah. And I'm just one of those people that are going to stand really firm, even though that might not be a popular opinion right now.
Mhm.
I know it's not a popular opinion. I think like what you and I are talking about right now is not the popular opinion.
No.
I think the
There,
conversation is more of like use AI and and scale your business and scale this and automate this. And I'm just like, okay, it's great for this, but like I had someone that I love and I think is great, and I'm going to be attending one of her events and everything. And she was, talking about like, oh, I want all the guests to do this AI thing. I'm going to send you the prompt, and then you're going to do this. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not like, first of all, it's I'm not going to support certain things that other people think is great. I'm going to stand firm to my integrity. Um, and I know it's not popular, but because I see a lot of big companies and I see a lot of big women entrepreneurs that are using it, that are scaling with it. And I don't care if you feel it's a smart business move or not. I know a lot of people think it's a smart business move. I honestly, I'll stand back for while you guys do that, and I'm going to be okay with not maybe scaling for temporary monetary benefits that I could get if it's not true to me, if it's not in alignment with my integrity and my core values, I'm not going to lose myself in just trying to make quick buck because I know in the long run what's going to win. And I think this people who are cognizant, more personal aware, more in
Mhm.
tune with self are seeing that. So even though you and I are talking about this, I have had some of this very conversation with people that actually agree with this. And we're actually going to talk about it in our conference. We're having a marketing and AI panel, and we're going to get real. And not to mention the impact this is having on our um, ecosystem, right? These data sets,
Yes.
these people's homes that are near data centers. I don't know if you've seen these documentaries and these videos of people having serious issues with their water,
No,
their
I have not
uh,
seen these documentaries.
because they don't want you to see it. You have to like literally train the algorithm maybe to show it to you. But these mega data centers that are going up to fuel AI, it's sad. And that's a whole nother topic of conversation that we could
Oh
go
wow, yeah,
into. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not
yeah.
good.
What's it
It's a
doing
long
to
run.
us? Like you
Yeah,
said, it's changing us from like the inside out, I think. It's changing people. Wow,
yeah.
that's scary. I'm gonna have to be researching that over the weekend.
I'll have to see one of my videos and add that I might have saved and I'll forward it to you as well. So it's definitely an interesting
Yes.
conversation. Again, not a popular one, but
Not at all. Everybody's like, you need to do this. But you know what? For me, I'll just give this one little tip. What I do in insurance, AI is not like legally helpful, at all times. It can't do what I do. It can decipher a policy, pick out words, but all it does is confuse people. Like it kind of hallucinates when they're using ChatGPT AI models and it repeats the same stuff over and over, and it actually confuses clients, and it wouldn't be able to like sit here and write policies for somebody and then wear off like an E&O problem in my point of view for me.
right,
So like it can do certain things like marketing and send out emails that blast emails, which we already have a program that does that. Like some of this
right,
stuff isn't new.
right,
It's like
right.
Photoshop pictures. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just people are trying to overextend it, but then it's taking away, like you said, jobs from people. Like I have a new college graduate in my house who's been looking for a job and for like over a year, and he's not the only one. It's like taking away like entry level jobs from so many people. And I think it's only going to get worse. And then like, what's people going to do? They're not going to be able to afford the programs to use if they can't
Well,
get work.
yeah, and I think what's going to happen with like I think right now for people to when if you want to think about okay, what is going to be the need? What is going to be the commodity? What is going to the thing that people are going to be willing to pay extra for? I'm telling you this, Colleen, it's going to be the ones who are human.
Yes.
Because, I was speaking to someone that recently went to an event and they did this experience where they gave this person ideas in a paper, and this person had to literally draft like a visual, you know, expression of these ideas that people gave on paper. And then they gave chat the same thing like from different people. And what they noticed is that what chat created from all these people's ideas all started looking the same. All were the same, right? But then what the human was able to create from their creativity, their expression of this idea was so unique and so different. So then they put the human result and then the chat, and that one stands out and also evokes some type of humanness, right? Realness. And I think art, even though AI can create really cool looking images and art and whatever, what's going to stand apart is the art that was actually like, we're going to start to notice what was human and what was not, right? So I think that people just need to have some patience and don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to lose. More so, think about how you can stay human in your business and your brand or create an idea and concept that allows real experiences, right? I tell women right now, hey, come up with an event experience. It doesn't matter what it is. Like plant bingo, I'm about to go to a plant bingo event. Like I think that's freaking
Oh,
awesome.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
bingo. It's fun. Yeah.
plant bingo, it doesn't have to be wellness related. I'm in the wellness world, but like, we did like a little thing at one of my events where we did like a little, rapid fire plant bingo. And then we did craft rave where I put disco lights and we played like rave music and we were crafting, like they have craft raves and they have like paint and sip nights. And like, I'm telling you, these type of immersive experiences, they're blowing up. So get into the event world. Brands right now are actually seeking community. So if you can build community, you can show that you have regular events flowing, regular community attending. Brands are wanting to do that. So just, I think like my advice for people right now is don't get so caught up in like, how to create an AI business. Like AI can be a supplement to what you are building, but if you can stay human right now in a world that is so disconnected, that is where you're going to win in the long run. That is my personal opinion. I think that we're going to want more and more real experiences, right? We're going to want to get out of the virtual experiences and be like, oh my God, this is what water feels like. Like this is what nature
Mhm.
feels like
It's
and the
true.
sun feels like. Yeah, we're going to crave
We
that
want to
because,
feel the earth, the like the ground, feel the
yeah.
sky and see it. And yeah, because virtual is not. So that's what we need to be promoting, these personal events where people are together and they're communicating and being creative again.
Yeah, and little small intimate gatherings. A lot of women are doing these like, dinner table experiences, right? 8 to 10 women where they can just speak. I have
Mhm.
expanders. We do an ex quarterly expanders where it's women entrepreneurs. We do like a round table. I bring a photographer in. We talk about our lives as entrepreneurs, and many of us are solopreneurs. And I've been doing this for like 3 years, and it's just such a beautiful way to gather. We do it every 3 months, and that has evolved and has grown. And every single time we do it, the women are like, God, we need to do this more. And I'm like, you know what? We probably should. We probably should do it monthly, like, but,
Yeah,
and I,
probably.
I think I don't know if you've recently been somewhere with just friends and you're just connecting and be like, gosh, I wish I could do this more often, right? Because you just a way to like laugh and be with your friends and connect. And I just got invited to a brunch on Saturday tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to go and brunch with you ladies, like so
It's so
I think,
fun. Yeah, it's so
yeah,
fun to be around people. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are, missing. And that's why like the depression is so high, anxiety is so high, and, the self-harm and everything. It's just things you
yes,
never heard about with, especially with like the younger people, younger generation. It's really sad and scary. And they just need to get back to being like little kids and people again.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, and the COVID did not help.
No.
So, when people hear the word self-awareness, what do you feel like that means in like a transformation? And since we just talked about AI, maybe this is a good start. Like, so being self-aware
Yeah.
of like maybe you need help, maybe you need to make some changes or get out there. How could
You know,
somebody use that? Hmm.
I think when it comes to self-awareness, sometimes people might know what is easy to know, right? Like when you talk about your personality, you could be like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm the most unorganized person, right? I'll use an example. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not very organized, right? Or I'm always late, or I'm shy, or things like that trigger me. Like those are what I call like surface level self-awareness. It's easy to know because like you can see it. You're experiencing it. You're present to the fact that you have no self-control around bread or whatever. Like, oh my God, like I love my
Yeah.
bread. I'm a caffeine addict. Like there's these like self-aware things where you like we were talking about, I'm always late. It's so hard for me to do this, or things that trigger you, things that bother you. Like, oh my God, it bothers me when people chew this way, or like I hate loud noises, or right, like you are self-aware in that sense, or what makes you uncomfortable. But I think real self-awareness are the things that are in the unconscious level. The things that we are not present as to why we are choosing what we choose, why we feel the way that we feel, right? You can say, oh, I get
Hmm.
cringed out when I see this, but do you know why? Do you know what is beyond that? Do you know the root cause of that? And to me, I went on that healing journey in my 30s. So I thought I was like self-aware. I used to think I was a positive person. It wasn't until I started to learn about the unconscious mind and think about it. It's unconscious. That means things that are not conscious. You're not consciously aware of them. And I think real self-awareness starts when you're willing to unravel that onion, right? Like peel back and get to the root cause of why you do the things you do and why you're experiencing the world as you're experiencing it, right? Like why your beliefs are the way they are. I meet a lot of people that are overall very pessimistic. They'd be like, oh,
Hmm.
that would never happen. Oh, that's my luck. Or, oh, must be nice. Very victim mentality without them calling themselves a victim. But because I'm aware, I realized for years I had a victim mindset. But I would have never told you that, right? I would have said, oh, I'm positive. But the choices and the decisions that I was making came from a lack and scarcity and what I would call a victim mindset. And I actually wrote a book called Reveal, Love, Manifest. And the first section of the book, the reveal section, was me becoming aware of where I was in lack, where I was in scarcity, where my limiting beliefs are, and how I was a victim. And taking like radical responsibility for what is happening in your life is not easy for people. It's not. When
No,
you say, "Oh, you're getting laid off at all these jobs, not because of the job, not because of the boss, but because you're creating that," people don't want to
you
admit
hear
that.
that. No,
They don't want to hear that. I'm a believer that in everything in life, you're creating. You are the creator of everything in your life. So if work is hard and it's challenging and you can never make money, or there's always something happening to make you lose money, you're creating that scenario because you have an unconscious belief and pattern around money or around work that is creating that scenario. The choices you're making, the decisions you're making, the things you say yes to, the people you're partnering with are all in alignment of the core belief. And that if that belief is that money is hard to get, partnerships are hard to get, life is hard, work is hard, you're going to make choices from that. And of course, you're going to perpetuate this pattern. So you're the victim to this core belief. That was life-changing to me, Colleen. When I realized, shit, I have this belief about money and that's why money is this way. Or I have this belief about men.
Thank you so much for listening and joining us on our podcast episode that's posted bi-weekly. Again, we would love if you would like and share and subscribe to our podcast. It means the world to us and it helps our guests so much. Remember, if you would like to join us, you can do so at any time. We record in person or on Zoom anywhere in the world. Also, our podcast is produced by Sean Spazzato and it's hosted by me, Miss Colleen Pacheco. Please like and share our Facebook pages, which is Colleen Pacheco and Secured Insurance Group. Our Instagram is Colleen Insurance Lady 22, and our cover art is edited by Norma Pacheco. We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us.